Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Today's the day. Today's a new day. Today's the day. Gonna find my way. Today's the day. Today's a new day. Today's the day. Today's a new start. Hi, Ian. What's up?
Not too much. Thank you for that impromptu musical interlude.
You're welcome. Hope you enjoy Sonic Rush theme song.
I do. Just as much as I enjoy these questions that come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Yes, indeed. Let's go ahead and start with this one from All Peachy. Howdy, fellas. I no longer believe in hedgehogs. Well, finally, someone doesn't. So I thought I should ask you guys a non-Sonic question. Wow, you're my favorite person, All Peachy. My question to you two is, what was the best concert you've ever been to? If you've never been to a concert, what band or singer would you want to see?
Okay, number one, they're real animals. You can't just not believe in a real animal. Come on.
I mean, you could not believe in them. Like, maybe you think they're not good enough.
I mean, otherwise you're taking your headcanon game to a whole new level, which I guess bravo.
Have you ever seen a hedgehog in real life, Ian?
Now that you mention it.
See what I mean? Exactly.
Huh.
See what I mean?
All right. Well, you got me there. Trying to remember best concert I went to. I haven't been to a ton, but some standouts to me. There was the Zelda Symphony.
Yeah.
And the standout piece for that for me was they did Clock Town from Majora's Mask because the 3DS version had just come out.
But that's good stuff right there.
And they did all three versions. So,
Ooh.
The Happy Day one, the kind of sleepy rainy one, and then the ever encroaching Doom third day one. And that still gives me chills thinking about it.
Yeah.
That was terrifying in the best way. Saw Rockapella do a Christmas concert.
Oh, nice.
And I distinctly remember, watching them going, okay, I hear the sleigh bells, but nobody has sleigh bells. Where is that sound coming from? And I realized it was their percussionist. He was making sleigh bell noises with his mouth and throat, and that still astonishes me.
Wow.
And the other one was, I think it was the Alexis on Fire farewell tour before they got back together, but and it was just in this, little small kind of dive pavilion thing. Nothing grand or eccentric. The kind of place where your shoes stick to the floor before the party started.
Mm-hmm.
And man, they put on a show.
Nice.
They really put everything into it. That was like Aaliyah's concert to go to because she was a big fan of them. It's like, if I don't see them live, I'm never going to see them again. We have to go. And I was like, yeah, okay, we'll go. And I was like, oh, hey, this is pretty cool. We got out eventually. Oh yeah. Aaliyah was saying that we got snowed in. I'm like, but we got out eventually. He's like, yeah, but they played extra because we couldn't leave. It's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Nice. That's cool. That's awesome. Oh man, for me, I gotta give a shout out to MagFest when I went back in 2012. I mean, that's just a big music festival. I mean, does that count as one concert or does it count as like 20? Because I went to as many of the shows as I possibly could. That was the year that Nobuo Uematsu, a Final Fantasy fan, was there with his band, the Earthbound Papas, and they did a whole set. They were the cap. They were the main show for that weekend, and that was super fun. And I'm just trying to think of who else played that weekend. God, the Megas, got to hang out with them and watch them jam. That was awesome. I always loved the Megas. They put on a great show. That was a very fun show, and I am glad I went to that, and I wish I could go to more of them, but they don't make it easy being all the way across the country and being at certain times a year and just being an expensive thing to go to, but it's cool. It's awesome. I love the Megas. Love MagFest, and hope I can go back again someday. What else have I seen? There's a guitarist named Gary Hoey who I have seen 3 times now, I want to say. He is fantastic. He is one of those kind of virtuoso guitarists, kind of like like a Joe Satriani and the like. He's really good. I like him a lot, and just a cool guy too. And yeah, so that's I've seen some other concerts too, but those are some of my favorite ones. Those are just a few. So next question is from Alpha Mono or Yukin. When the Doctor is away, the traitor shall play. While Dr. Eggman is out, Snively from Archie, Starline from IDW, and Commander Brutus from Fleetway all make an attempt to seize the Eggman Empire for themselves. Who will succeed, who will fall, and how big of a mess do Orbot and Cubot have to clean up before the Doctor gets back? I feel like we've done something similar to this one before, but, it's fine.
I don't feel like we've had Commander Brutus in the mix.
You're right, yeah. But similar concepts, but...
Sure. And I'm not, super familiar with... It's been a long time since I went through Sonic the Comic, but I seem to remember he was, the competent militaristic one.
Yeah.
What if Eggman were serious type of thing? And so I imagine he'd be the front runner. Snively would try to confront him head on, and that's going to go poorly for him. Starline's going to see the two of them, and the sniveling backstabber or the glittering gold commander. Who is he going to side with, really? He's going to go with Brutus, but the affection for his presentation is going to wear thin because he's just not fun. Eggman's fun. Brutus isn't fun. So Starline thinks, he has potential, but he's missing that je ne sais quoi. I can fix it. I'll betray him.
There
Which,
you go.
Goes about as well as you predict because it's Starline.
There he goes.
But between the two of them, they do enough damage to Brutus that he has to retreat because he's been undermined and fought to a point where he cannot achieve victory. Which just leaves Orbot and Cubot to clean everything up.
I mean, Orbot and Cubot are the real MVPs anyway, so.
You have a 5-second bit where Cubot's looking around furtively and then plants his push broom like a flag. You gotta clear this land in the name of Orbot.
Yep.
Anybody hear that? Okay, good. Sweep.
Yep. All right, here's a question from Andrew D. In the Winter Jam comic, Sonic states that nothing could mess up this endless summer, with an emphasis on the words endless summer. Is this a nod to the Endless Summer comic? And if so, is it implying that this picks up directly where Endless Summer leaves off with just enough time for some of the cast to change up?
I didn't write that one, but I would assume that it's a nod to the other special.
I don't think so.
And no?
No, I think it's a reference to the movie Endless Summer.
Ah.
Yeah, the 1960s surfing movie.
So the two seasonal specials with a direct reference to the one that preceded it is not the obvious context. It's a movie reference.
Yes, it's a movie reference, a movie from 1966 specifically called The Endless Summer.
You know what? I can't argue with that. Clearly, you're right.
Yes, it's directed by Bruce Brown. It involves a bunch of guys traveling around the world, going to different beaches and surfing. There's no story. That's all it is.
What more story do you need, really?
I mean, I guess. There's no... There's nothing in it. There's no plot. It's literally just going around and going to different beaches and surfing. That's what it's about. It's a very obscure movie reference. That's what it is. I appreciate it. And as a fan of that movie, I appreciate that. So thank you, IDW Sonic, for educating us on the fine history of cinema in plotless 1960s film style. That was all a joke, by the way.
No, don't say that. Let it linger.
I should.
Let it fester.
I should cut this out so that way seems like I am that much of an idiot. But no, I don't need any help on that front. I don't need to make myself look even dumber than I already am. It's fine. Here's a question from Anonymous. So, how long does it take to make a BumbleKast episode at the moment if we include things like recording, cutting, and Ian recovering from his voice shenanigans? And how many people are involved?
Kyle, you're better equipped to answer this one because our recording sessions usually go 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah.
But But
Like,
that's not counting the Q&A prep, the cultivation of the questions, the editing, especially if I'm having a bad day. Ooh, post-production and all that.
it's about an hour per episode to do the recording. I can usually put the questions together in maybe half an hour, usually thereabouts. Editing, I would say, is about another hour if there's no music segment involved. Yeah, I'd say it's like a 3 to 4 hour process to create a BumbleKast episode.
And then add another hour if there's a musical request.
Yeah, at least. And then also, that's not also counting the hours that Noni puts in for doing the thumbnail. And they've been doing the thumbnails for about a month, so I don't know if they're getting faster or not. But, I mean, I think it takes them a few hours to do that, at least. I don't know for sure. They can speak to that. But as far as the number of people involved, usually it's just me and Ian. Only recently we've had a thumbnail artist, a dedicated thumb artist. So that is now 3 people. But for minis, we've had some help in trying to catch up with the backlog with Professor Rye and Thievius. They've been doing some editing of the minis. So for those, one or both of them is usually involved in those recently. So yeah, we got a crew. Yeah, we got some people working with us. But mostly it is me and you are doing the main bulk of the episode. So I think that's it. Is that everything?
That's all I can think of.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else, anyone else involved. Directly, at least. So, yeah, that's exciting.
There's also the uploading to YouTube and the setup of the Patreon things. That usually takes maybe half an hour to go through to make sure
it's like
all the timestamps are right and everything's scheduled.
That's like 15 to 30 minutes, yeah, roughly, thereabouts, at most. And then JR also has his timestamping, which involves listening to the episode. I know that he kind of does I think he listens to it real fast and kind of just listens for when voice changes when he does the initial pass. So I don't think he has to necessarily listen to the whole thing. So Noni is saying that a full thumbnail takes about 1 to 2 days, depending on how labor intensive. And the most recent one took about 24 hours minimum. So there you go.
So in summation, about one BumbleKast episode takes about 1.5 to 2.5 days.
Yeah,
using
I guess so.
Math.
I guess so. That's a lot of time. Wow, that's a long time. Oy. Well, let's not think about that too much anymore. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question from Buns of Flufficle. On the January 17th episode, the topic of awful crossover ships was brought up. I now demand, with the undeniable power of $6, that you both pitch a good crossover ship that would be fun to see. Go crazy. Omega cross Unicron. Give me Vanilla cross Columbo.
Well, I mean, we never see Columbo's wife.
True. Could be Vanilla. You never know. She seems to have a thing for detectives. So it would...
And really, if you're going to fall for a detective, you're going to fall for Columbo.
I mean, yeah, you're right. You got me there.
I mean, just when you think he's thought of everything, there's always that one more thing that he can do for you.
Exactly, man. He is a very... he's very good like that. What do you think, Ian? Crossover ships.
Trying to think of characters that I like in various media that I would actually be happy to see happily together. All right, this is maybe an oddball one, but let's go with Goliath out of Gargoyles and April O'Neil out of Ninja Turtles.
I mean, sure.
It doesn't really matter which incarnation of April. She's a smart cookie, and she's used to palling around with inhuman characters, and
yeah,
she'd keep Goliath in line.
I'm kind of wondering how this happened.
Magic space portal.
I'm just wondering.
I mean, Ninja Turtles crossovers with everything anyway.
That's true. It's true. I'm trying to figure that out.
I mean, really, if we're going to get down to it, Goliath with anybody, because man, that's a catch.
True. Let's see. I'm getting some suggestions from the chat. I liked some of these. There's one that's Silver and Kaylee from Firefly would hang out.
They'd be fun, sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that seems adorable.
You just want an excuse for Silver to say shiny.
I mean, what else do you need? That's all you need in life. Rainbow Dash and Sonic. I don't know. They're a bit alike. Maybe
similar people can get along.
True.
Very definition of a power couple. Good God.
True. This is a weird one. Surge and Superboy Prime. What?
Well, she could do so much better. Come on.
I mean, could she though? She's a terrible person. So
yeah, but Superboy Prime's a terrible character
and a terrible person. But yeah, Superboy Prime is worse. Oi, piece of crap. Oh man, I'll just rely on the chat for mine. I don't have any good ones off the top of my head, and my brain is not fully functional right now, so we'll go with that. This one's from Cece. Hi, it's me again, asking about obscure characters that no one else thinks of. Uma Arachnis has always fascinated me as a character. While she had already been killed off long ago before you started writing for her, I recall some lore you built in, specifically in the Encyclopedia and the Journey to the East arc. How do you think she personally felt having to work under Ixis Nagas? It's interesting to me because her ultimate mission was to prevent the source of all from being corrupted by evil, and Nagas is pretty standard textbook evil. Uma Arachnis. I have vague memories of this name. This is like shaking something loose in the dark confines of my brain.
She was a spider ninja.
That's right. There she is. Okay. You know what? I kind of like that. I think that's pretty sick. We should have more 8-armed characters in Sonic.
And she was like the definition of less is more. And this is very much working retroactively, but the idea that she served, what was it? The Bride of Endless Reach, was it?
Mm-hmm.
And the Web of Fate. It's been a while, but I think the intention was to kind of retcon it so that she was always working towards the destruction of the corrupted sword, and that she just had put her faith in the Web of Fate. Like every evil deed she did, every action she took, even her self-sacrificial thing, she knew that this was following the path. It was very fatalist of her. And it didn't matter what she was doing in the moment, because ultimately it was going to result in the greater good for all.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's what I was going for.
Something like that. That works. Chaos Sonic 1 has a question. Now that the joke from me is done when it comes to fan stuff, what if Sega allows fan stuff to be added to the main series? How would things be done?
As a armchair legal know nothing, I would say that they would have to issue contracts on a creation by creation basis.
Something like that.
There would have to be some discussion of compensation and ownership and licensing so that the fan creation doesn't get used in perpetuity by Sega. Do you sign away your rights to, I don't know, Purple the cat or whoever? Or are you constantly getting residuals whenever our good friend Purple shows up as an NPC in Sonic Adventure 5? It would be a legal nightmare, I think. Just every single per contract negotiation for material that wouldn't necessarily even be used all that much. So I do not foresee that happening.
I'm going to say it would be something like the case of like Sonic Mania, Christian Whitehead, where they would hire the person to do something new rather than...
But that's not a fan thing, though. That's a person who was a fan being hired as a professional contractor.
Right, that's true. That's like the only way I could see them doing like any fan sort of any sort of fan thing getting in, though. That's
See, I
that's
draw the line there.
different. I know it's different. I know it's like it's a different thing, but it's like the best case I can think of for like fan creations being added to something at best.
That's fan creators
But
being added, not the creations.
Yeah, that's different.
And I think you definitely get a different degree of passion and attention to detail by hiring fan creators. You know, me, Danny, Evan, Christian, got most of the IDW crew, let's be honest. We are all professional contractors, but we also love the franchise, so we bring a little something extra, I think, than someone who isn't familiar with the franchise.
Right. Yep. Step 1, get hired by Sega.
Which
Step
isn't
2, add fan thing.
That isn't to say folks outside of a fandom can't do good work.
No.
There are folks who do the research and who are talented enough to jump into new material and bring new insight into it. That's valuable too.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, I mean, that's kind of like the only thing I could think of where, like, if you get hired would be the only thing. Here's one from Conga. How familiar are you with Team Fortress 2's tie-in comics? I really like how they expand upon the lore of the game to be even deeper and crazier than it already was. P.S. Can you use your powers of canon to make issue 7 real?
I wish. Yeah, I read them all at some point. Really enjoyed them. Was initially entertained by the schedule falling prey to Valve time. Now kind of depressed that I don't think it's ever going to be wrapped up. Just one more issue, man. Come on. Just do the one last one. Resolve the story. But, yeah. What's there is good, though. It's worth a reread.
God, I haven't read them in years. I barely remember them. I mean, I can remember the Meet the videos, but the comics, not so much. I guess I should go back into that. But I remember they were really good. It's just like, there wasn't enough of them.
What immediately springs to mind and still cracks me up is they do the spoof cover of Spider-Man No More, but with Saxton Hale. Except the only thing Saxton Hale's are those booty shorts and that hat. So it's just him buck naked walking down the alley in the sad rain.
Yeah. All right. Next question is from Cool Christy 1. Shadow the Hedgehog is created from the Black Arms and is a project of Dr. Gerald's diary and Sonic Adventure 2. Does it bother anybody that his mind has been erased to heal the world of a disease? When Dr. Eggman woke him up from the deep sleep, he wanted to be the bad guy for Dr. Eggman and conquer the world?
That's the tragedy of his character.
Yep. And that's why he should have stayed dead, because it makes it even more tragic. But no, he just had to go and be popular.
There's a certain degree of upliftingness that, despite the tragedy, he has resolved to forge his own future and move ahead.
Don't take this away
and then
from
you get
me,
the tragedy
Ian.
again because that past keeps haunting him and coming back to bite him in the butt repeatedly, despite his best efforts.
Okay, fine. As long as it comes back to bite him, that's fine. I really don't hate Shadow that much, but it's for the bit. CTFeologist has a question. What is the logic behind Sega changing Fang's title from Sniper to Hunter and getting rid of his pop gun? Did he ever have the pop gun in universe now, or has it been retconned away?
Oh yeah, he had it. He had it in that little preview comic that came out before Superstars.
Mm-hmm.
As for the thinking, I feel like that might be a little too behind the curtains-y stuff. I might get in trouble for getting into that, so I'm gonna have to abstain from talking shop on that one.
I was wondering if it's like a violence thing, like a ESRB rating sort of thing. I don't know though. That's the best I could think of. Kind of silly. Here's one from DDR Master M. After screwing with expectations last week, the Discord has spoken, so no sidestepping this time. Yep, here comes the question for the body swap of Shadow and Tangle. What chaos ensues?
Shadow as Tangle is going to be the most terrifying Tangle you can imagine. Like, he's going to use that stretchy fifth appendage to lethal precision.
Here comes Tangle, and she's pissed.
It's like all the stories where Spider-Man, stops being the friendly neighborhood kind and becomes like the killer super assassin that all his powers could do.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Tangle could really mess you up if she was not, Tangle.
Yeah.
Tangle, meanwhile, as Shadow.
Oh, please! I hope she takes off the bracelets. Please,
and these things are heavy. Click.
Yeah, please take off the inhibitors.
She's just walking around with this burning, enveloped in chaos flames. Toasty.
Yeah, she's a little warm.
Feel all tingly.
I don't know what Blaze feels like.
Gets a hold of a chaos emerald. So do I just have to say the words and it just works? Chaos control, and boom, boom, everything is stopped around her. And she starts pranking people, turning ice cream cones upside down.
Aww.
Moving people out of the way of oncoming traffic that they've completely not seen.
She goes full Quicksilver, huh?
Exactly. Does all the windows up for the window washer, so he's sitting there wondering how the building's already clean. That kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. That's at least nice. That's a nice prank. Turning ice cream cones upside down. That's mean. That's a Surge move.
Turning them upside down so they're now double-decker.
Oh.
So you go for and then time starts up. It's like, oh, wait, I have double ice cream.
You have two now. How about the air shoes? Does she get a hold of those? She
turns those off first thing. Because otherwise it's like trying to walk across an air hockey rink.
I was going to say, does she get used to those, or does she just like, no, I don't want
No. She's like bouncing off of stuff going, how do you even move it? Yeah.
She's never rollerbladed before, huh?
Oh, no, rollerblades are fine, but you can actually have like tactile interaction with the ground on those. This is just air.
I suppose. Does Shadow ever get Tangle's tail caught in anything? Like, even
not.
Despite his
the ultimate lemur.
Despite his lethal precision with it, as far as like a murder weapon, would he be like forget he has it when walking through a door?
No, but he is a little perturbed that it seems to have an opinion of its own sometimes. Is that just like a reflex, or is this thing actually sassing him? He doesn't quite get
it. Well, I mean, Shadow sass himself. All right. Silliness. I like it. Dawson the Dachshund has a question. Picture this, Ian. It's a cool, cloudy morning when you're woken up by an aggressive knock on the door. Once you open it up, Tangle jumps out, grabs you by the collar, and yells, "Daddy, I need money!" What's the next step?
Well, first, I'm going to yawn because why are you waking me up? It's a cool, rainy morning. I could be sleeping in. Mm-hmm. All right. What'd you break this time? Whose thing did you break? Can we get away with an I'm sorry? No? Okay. I'll get the wallet. How much do you need? That much? What did you break? For pity's sake. All right. Here, just go on, and here's some lunch money. For the love of God, give Shadow back his shoes. He's been calling me, okay? Okay, I'm going back to bed.
Okay, just act like this is totally normal.
The day it ends in Y, man.
Tangle just shows up, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, all right, this is about what I expected.
Have to keep texting her, give back the car keys. You don't even drive.
Meanwhile, she sends you a selfie of her behind the wheel. Oh, no.
Wait a minute. I don't have a European model car. Why is the steering wheel on that side? Tangle!
Oh, no. Throwback to an old thumbnail. And she's... Good stuff. All right, let's call it here. Take a quick break and come back with more on this episode of the BumbleKast.
We're back, and we're coming back with a special giveaway question. If you follow us on our Twitter, on our Blue Sky, on our Tumblr, or on our Instagram, every so often you get the chance to get a free question here on the BumbleKast.
That's right. This time, this question comes from Tumblr, and it's from JoshDraws07. You've been doing this podcast for a long time. Has there ever been a moment where you think you've said too much? Is it something that keeps you up at night?
Yes, and used to.
I mean, yeah, when the news sites start picking up on something that happens on the BumbleKast, that gets a little hairy.
Sometimes, yeah. And sometimes there's been, maybe a gentle meeting where I've been told to, maybe back off a little on the shop talk, which, fair. Certainly fair.
Yeah.
You got to remember that even though I am an independent contractor, I am kind of like neck deep in Sonic, so I'm kind of representative of the brand now, whether I like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like the old days in Archie where you could just do whatever and it wasn't a big deal.
Well,
so
that was a different scenario. But,
yeah, that's different.
And sometimes, let's call a spade. I've been stupid. Like I've worded something poorly or gotten cranky and didn't think everything through. And I've stepped in it more than once.
I didn't catch it probably because I was too busy laughing.
But over time, I've kind of learned that, it's not the end of the world. The boo-boo of today isn't going to necessarily haunt you for forever. So that doesn't mean that I can just pop off nonstop. It just means that I don't have to give myself an ulcer necessarily. So
that's good.
Be smarter, be more cautious, but also relax a little bit, which kind of helps with the other two. That's the takeaway that I have right now.
Yep. Works for me. Here's one from Does It Come in Blueberry? Why was the Master Emerald already on Earth in that Sonic Frontiers flashback if the Chaos Emeralds came from the Ancients' planet?
Master Emerald isn't a Chaos Emerald. It's the Master Emerald.
Oh. Well, is that why the Chaos Emeralds came to Earth? Because the Earth had Master Emerald? The Master Emerald?
Maybe.
Was it drawn to them somehow?
Maybe. Was the Master Emerald always on Earth? We don't know. It's mysterious.
Scary. I don't know, Ian. I'm worried. Maybe this is getting too in the weeds. I don't know. Here's one from Dove. Starline Isekai all set. Ready? Go. So, Starline ends up in the G Gundam universe. Does he get to pilot a Gundam? Does he build his own? Does he win any fights?
This hand of mine glows with an awesome power. God, G Gundam is right up his alley.
Oh boy.
I feel silly for not thinking of this earlier. Like, come on. Themed mechas that respond to you just doing Sentai poses inside of the giant cockpit room. I mean, come on.
All right, that sounds pretty cool.
Skin tight, color coded latex control bodysuits. Absolutely. This is 100% Starline. Nice. I don't know if he would have his own or if he would just commandeer some country's mecha.
Nice.
I feel like stealing somebody else's is more his wavelength. And he is a competent mecha pilot. Like, let's give credit where it's due. He wouldn't be able to win a few rounds, probably against some of the jobber Gundams that aren't necessarily needed for the rest of the season. He'd ultimately lose. I mean, he's the bad guy. That's how it goes. He'd get a shining finger right to the face. And I don't mean the mechas. I mean, it would come through the cockpit and he'd just get isekai'd. But he'd go a few rounds. The only reason why he lost against Eggman is Eggman's just the better pilot.
Nice. Well, heck. How does he get isekai'd away then? He loses eventually, I guess, huh?
Well, I already said shining finger.
Oh, okay.
Whole, burning hot mecha hand the size of he is, or at least maybe even triple, just like a hot knife through butter.
Yum. All right. Here's a question from Energy. With Frontiers having been out for a few years now, there's one thing that's been on my mind. How does Vandalize connect to the game plot-wise? Does it even connect at all? Or was it just there to be a super cool song?
I don't know. I wasn't involved in the process.
You didn't choose the music, Ian?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
That's
suppose.
Between the director and the composer.
Yes. It's interesting, though. They didn't, They didn't give the song to you as like something like as or say that it was a thing they were going to do?
I had no idea what the soundtrack was going to be like.
Okay, well, interesting. There you go. Geo Knuckles has a question. Sonic cross Power Ranger Samurai. Red Ranger Jaden, the stoic leader, reminds me of Knuckles, both loners and devoted to their duties. What are your thoughts?
I'll take your word for it.
Sure. Good thing they're both red. That's how it works, right? They're both red, so that means they're both the same. Here's one from Gideon W. In honor of it being the month of Valentine's Day, let's combine two answers to previous questions that probably shouldn't be combined. One question from January 10th proposed that if Sonic Adventure became Sat AM, that Coconuts would become Ixis Naugus. A later answer from January 17th paired Master Chief with Coconuts and Twilight Sparkle with Ixis Naugus. How does Master Chief react to seeing his ex's chains and new partner on Egg Book?
Oh. I ain't even mad. You did your homework.
Yeah. I mean, somebody listens to
you
the
have
show.
reaped what we have sown.
Oh, no.
All right, so Chief is reacting to Ixis Coconuts. As a jilted lover.
Who jilts Master Chief?
That's the stupidest sentence I have ever said out loud. Oh, and there are plenty of contenders.
I was gonna say we have like a whole podcast. We've been doing this thing for almost a decade, Ian. There's no shortage of sentences that you've said, but yeah, that's pretty dumb. The Bumble lore is spreading, and it's just
the Bumble lore is a sick and twisted thing.
It's a disease.
Okay, John 117. How do you react?
The show is cursed.
As he's flipping through Egg Book, I think he has a moment's pause, and then because he's using some kind of Microsoft phone, he boots up Cortana and says, "I need a weapon." And what kind of weapon is that, Chief? Cupid's bow and arrow. I need to win him back. I can fix him.
They just want to talk. Oh, man.
But ultimately, it just he becomes the third wheel to Twilight Sparkle and Ixis Coconuts because, hey, friendship is magic.
It's true. It's true.
Noni, you're forbidden for using this as the thumbnail.
Oh, no. Oh, that means they're going to do it. They're going to do it. Here's a question from Hearts 13. S6 Squad on Scrapnik Island. An interdimensional portal opens between the two parallel realities of Adventures of and IDW Sonic's universes. After their latest failed attempt to capture Sonic, the S6 Squad are left in a pile of broken parts, like they always are. The Brogan Badniks are sucked into the portal and dropped onto Scrapnik Island, where they are found by the E100 unit Sigma. What do the Scrapnik versions of Scratch, Grounder, and Coconuts look like? How do they interact with their new Scrapnik neighbors? And how do they react when Sonic finally comes to the island?
I imagine all their pieces are still there, so Sigma just puts them back together, but like a hodgepodge.
Yeah.
So like Grounder's got Coconut's little light and like one of Scratch's arms, and Scratch has got a Grounder arm, and they're all constantly bickering with each other and stealing parts back and swapping. Turns into a Three Stooges bit where they end up slapping each other to pieces, and Sigma's like, "Oh, you three," and puts them back together again incorrectly. They are rather impressed and at peace with the entire community of Badniks. You know, they kind of like it here. That one Sonic robot's especially intimidating. This is what Pseudo Sonic looked like. And who is that guy with the hat? And you know, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe they've actually reached like Badnik heaven for all they know. And they're chilling out, and then Sonic shows up, and nope, priority one Hedgehog. They got to go take him out, and that's when, you know, Sigma steps in and is like, no. He's a friend. We have history here. I know there's past animosity between us, and they're not listening. They're going to pick a fight. Sonic has no idea who these guys are.
No.
And that's when Mecha steps in and just kind of looks at them. Oh. And then, you know what? Sonic's cool. They can get along. You know, they're in heaven. Why bring, fights into heaven. Well, they'll just chill over here. Okay, bye.
Kind of wholesome, actually. What the heck? How's this so wholesome? Well, that's good. That's nice. I like it. Let them be in robot heaven. Here's a question from JCR1216. Mario and Whisper switch bodies. What happens?
I don't know if Mario's going to figure out how to work the variable Wispon, but if anybody could inherit Wisp powers outside of Sonic, it's going to be Mario. So, but it's in Whisper's body. You know what? No, it's Mario's ability. It just kind of transfuses whatever vessel he's possessing. Sure, why not? Or maybe Whisper just dropped her mask and he put it on and it acts like a power-up. It's like the Tanuki leaf or something. He puts on Whisper's mask and just... and he's got the cape and the wisps and everything.
It's weird.
What in the world?
Uh-huh.
And Whisper as Mario? Well, this is kind of like Shadow as Tangle. You're going to have someone who's going to use all of Mario's acrobatics and incredible stomping power to their absolute peak efficiency.
Let's go.
It's like one of those speed running videos of somebody just absolutely tearing through World 1-1. Bowser gets plowed against the wall before he even knows what happens, and just Mario looming over him. Wahoo.
Terrifying. Wahoo indeed. Oh, man. I'm being told that this implies Mario knows how to use a gun. Well, having played that Shotgun Mario 64 ROM hack, can confirm Mario knows how to use a gun. Also, that
he participated in the Olympics.
Yeah, that's true. He did. Yeah, they did. Also, that game freaking rules. That ROM hack, that thing, that is awesome. Please play that. It is amazing. It's way more well done than you'd think. So, and he uses guns in Mario and Rabbids too, apparently. So I guess that makes sense. He knows what guns are.
Instead of bing bing wahoo, it's bang bang wahoo.
Yep. Sorry, I'm laughing at the Dawson sketch in the chat. Anyway, next question is from Johnny Hero 2295. Trips come to visit Amy, Sonic, and the others at Seaside City. Good for them. What's not good for them is that Eggman's chose to attack today with a shrink ray and hits Trip. Except plot twist, Orbot and Cubot had the silly thing in reverse and Tripzilla accidentally broke said ray trying to get it. Uh-oh. How do our heroes get her back to normal, and what chaos ensues in the meantime?
The chaos is just Trip trying to carefully cross the city without breaking anything.
Yeah.
Which means she breaks all the things.
Oh.
She steps on that one car. Oops, sorry, backs into a building. My bad, turns around, knocks over another building. Oh, I'm so sorry. Breaks down in tears because she's ruining everything. Like downtown has been smushed because she turned in a circle once and now she's drowning everybody with the tears. You got Amy shouting up at her, just calm down, just stop. We'll figure this out.
Oh.
Tails has the pieces of the embiggener trying to figure out how to get it to unbiggen.
Mm-hmm.
Except Eggman Tech is weird. He's like, why would he even wire it like this? Okay, I just got to start from scratch. That makes no sense. Hold on, I'll be back. I'll fix this.
Yep. Oh. So they're just going to let her sit there and do nothing for
she's just
however
sitting
long
at,
it
the
takes.
intersection of First and Trade, trying not to break anything. Cars are backing up, and she's just kind of waving down. Sorry, I'll move in a minute. Sorry. I can move right now. No. Trip, just stay. Just stay right there, okay? It'll be fine. Eggman flies in. Oh, Trip. Seems there's a forest fire over there that only a giant lizard could put out. You better hurry. You'll be a hero. Trying to coax her into stomping her way through the city, tripping over skyscrapers, destroying more stuff.
She should just go find his empire. Just go find
Maybe
Eggman.
that's the twist. She gets tricked one too many times. She's like, you know what? Is that your city over there? Fine. No.
Boom.
Nope, stop.
Boom.
Stop.
Yep.
Stop.
Yep. She heads over to his city. Yep. That's right.
Quick, get the egg leash.
Yep. And give her the emeralds. Yes. Yes. Give her the emeralds.
Trip -1.
Ooh. Nice. I appreciate that. Very nice. Very nice. Mendoza has a question. Hello, guys. When in game the power of emeralds is underestimated or said that they are not capable of something. For example, in Sonic Heroes says the emeralds have no chance with Metal Overlord. Or also in Rush Adventure that Eggman and Eggman Nega, they said that the emeralds and soul emeralds were not rivals to the Egg Wizard. They are simply undervaluing them, or else they simply do not take other aspects into account. Is this true?
Just being arrogant.
I mean,
Being arrogant and dumb.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't have the math to back it up. It's just, haha, I have the advantage. No, you don't. Well, phooey.
Here's one from Morless. We all know Amy Rose, right? Kind, sweet, empathetic, loving. But what if she had a dark secret? What if she was the head of a criminal empire? Tell me, Mr. Flynn, what crimes hath the Rose committed? What dastardly deeds would Amy's criminal empire commit if she were to have one?
It is the most welcoming and supportive criminal empire you can imagine. Like, everyone looks out for each other. They take care of each other. And if you don't, if you cross, they just break your kneecaps. Like, that's the price of doing business, isn't it?
They only break your kneecaps, though. They don't actually take you out completely.
No. I mean, if they took you out, you wouldn't learn your lesson now, would you?
I mean, that's true. It's a good point.
Heck, they'll even call an ambulance for you.
Oh, how kind.
Crime boss Rose. She's got a finger in every pie. She runs this city. All right.
Oh yeah.
Everything is built by her or owned by her, whether they know it or not. And they're honestly better off for it. Better wages, better retirement plans. The city's absolutely spotless. The Green Initiative has made it absolutely gorgeous. No, this is great. So, when she cuts through the red tape, she cuts through the red tape, if you know what I'm saying.
Exactly. Wow.
And by cut, I mean Pico Hammer, and by red tape, I mean kneecaps.
Of course. Testing your reflexes, of course. That's her excuse.
Yeah. Does it hurt when I do this? Oh, God! Don't make me do that.
Good. Oh, boy.
She's going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Because it's really just a fantastic offer. Incredibly generous. You would be an idiot to refuse it. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Miss Rose.
Pretty much. Oh, man. Seeing her and Breezy as rivals. Oh, boy. Danger. 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 Rivals to lovers. Anyway, here's one from Mixiger17. So, when you said Kit and Surge have exoskeletons, did you mean they get the full-on skeleton scooping treatment and got robot frames shoved in? Or is it more like Starline gave them the various power implants, then he used the modified metal virus strand he used on them to turn their skeletons into metal with like a bone marrow injection or something, among the other durability and healing factor increases it gave them?
It's just they have robo-skeletons. There's no greater, deeper thinking than that. It's a fantasy series. He took the living things and he put the robo-skeleton inside, and now they have robo-skeletons. Don't try to apply any hard science or even like pseudoscience to this. It's just they have robo-skeletons now. That's their thing. That's their gimmick.
Cool. Not exoskeletons. That's a different thing completely. That means they'd have their skeletons on the outside.
I'm pretty sure I said endo, but
no. The question says exo.
I know, but they said I said exo, and I'm pretty sure I said endoskeleton, but I may have said exo in mistake. It should be endo.
Endo, yes, because it's in indoors. Indo,
Yes.
Indoside, inside. Yes. Exoskeletons, boy, Surge and Kit with exoskeletons, terrifying. Either that, or I guess they'd just be Papyrus and Sans.
Hey, Drippy, you're blue. That's your attack.
That's all we have for this edition of the BumbleKast.
Thank you to all our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members for supporting the show. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Take care, everybody.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
I have the boss, and I'm not super fond of them. I don't know. They just don't sit well with me.
IKEA meatball.
If we ever go to IKEA to eat, I usually get the fish and chips.
I have never had IKEA's food.
It's good. It's solid. It's not like fine dining, but it's a solid eatery experience.
I mean, it's food. It's food, I suppose. It is acceptable.
And for you get your money's worth, then it's a decent meal. And
yeah, fish and chips do not stack up to British fish and chips, apparently.
well, no, if you're getting authentic British fish and chips, no, it's not going to compare to Norwegian knockoff. No, Scandinavian. Where's IKEA from? Sweden.
Sweden, yes,
Yeah,
technically.
North American Swedish brand.
Yeah, I think Norwegians would have a problem with you saying IKEA is Norwegian.
My bad.
I mean, whatever. I don't know. I don't know how much I actually care. What's
No,
I don't know. I'm not sure what the over under is on Norwegians versus Swedish these days.
They seem to be fairly chill, I thought. But
I mean, yeah. I think there's something between them. I don't know.
no.
Yeah, they hate each other kind of like how the Brits and the French hate each other.
Okay.
They don't actually hate each other when it comes down to it,
Well, then that's not like the Brits and the French, because they really do hate each other.
Well, the Brits and the French do hate each other, but
To be fair, they hate everybody.
But if something happens, like if someone comes to invade the French, it's not like the British are just going to sit there and do nothing. I'm talking about modern times, current times, not ye olden days.
Now, if you go to the IKEA grocery, their prepackaged mashed potatoes and gravy are, they're good stuff.
Yeah.
Don't take too much to... The mashed potatoes are weird because they come out of the package like styrofoam peanuts. And then you heat them up and they turn into mashed potatoes. I don't understand it, but they're pretty tasty.
It's like magic. I think that's what it is.
Oh, and the smoked salmon that they have. Ooh, that's some good stuff.
Love salmon.